Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I am in the south of France with my parents. I've been working this week, but I thought, they rented a little house, why don't I just join them there? But yeah, part of that is that we don't really have a lot of space in the house, and I was trying to sit outside to find like a good spot for the video, but there's too much wind, so I'm gonna be chilling on my bed with you guys today. So yeah, I wanted to talk about something that I've briefly talked about in the past, but is actually, I think, a really big thing for people that are starting to notice progress, that are starting to move forward, starting to feel a little bit better in their DPDR recovery process or recovery from anxiety, but are struggling with the fear of having setbacks. So struggling with the fear of it coming back, or the fear that maybe it won't completely go away ever, and that can really be like a blockage in your own recovery, because part of the whole recovery, of course, is finding a sense of peace and confidence, which sometimes is a little bit disturbed by that fear of, what if I don't recover, or what if I have a setback, or something like that. So today I want to give you guys a little bit of an insight on how to stop avoiding or being afraid of setbacks happening. And basically the same way to ask this question is why I am not afraid of having any setbacks at all, or why I'm not afraid of ever relapsing if DPDR were to ever come back. The reason why I know that my DPDR probably will never return is because I am really not afraid of it returning at all. And that's a really big part of the recovery, is when you're just so unafraid of it, that you feel so safe within yourself, that you feel so confident in your ability to sit with fear, to sit with difficult emotions, that you don't have to create the DPDR response anymore. The first thing you have to understand on how to stop avoiding being afraid of setbacks, or just how to stop being afraid of setbacks altogether, is to focus on maybe in what ways you have externalized your recovery rather than internalized it. So they, when they start to feel better, they'll attach their feeling better to medication, or they'll attach feeling better to maybe coincidence or luck. But what it does is you feel like you have, or you had, no control over your recovery, and so you don't feel as confident about your ability to handle it if it comes back, because in your mind the reason you recovered is not because of the things you did to change your mindset, but because of luck or coincidence or other external factors that you didn't have any control over, which isn't good. So my tip in that is, either if you feel like you've done nothing to internalize your recovery, you're probably not going about this recovery process the right way. You're maybe focusing on just pure distraction, or pure trying to numb what you're feeling, or trying to cover up. My tip for you is take your control back by doing things that are within your control to change the outcome of your recovery. So practicing meditation, going to therapy, doing deeper dive into why the DPDR was there in the first place, or just focusing more on what you have already done that has made you feel different, instead of just attaching your recovery to this luck or external factors. The second thing is the attachment to feeling good. So this is what sometimes plays a really big role in being afraid of setbacks. It's when the storm is finally passing and you finally start to feel a little bit better. We tend to get really, really attached to feeling better, not wanting to ever feel bad again, not wanting the DPDR to ever return. And the tip in that is to, even if this is difficult, to remain detached from this process, to enjoy the recovery that you're making, to enjoy the progress that you're making without attaching too much to it. Because when you are attached to something, you are automatically afraid of losing it. As you guys know, the fear of the DPDR is what keeps it going. So if you attach to your feeling good, that means you're afraid of losing that. And if you're afraid of losing that, you're afraid of the DPDR, and the chance of the DPDR coming back is going to be bigger, or the chance of having a setback will be a bit higher. Then the third thing, this is something I really love. And this is more a question you can ask yourself to stop being so afraid of getting setbacks, is to understand why this had to happen to you. I think the mistake people make is they just say that this DPDR was just something that hit them, that they, like there's something wrong with their brain, something like just overcame them, feeling a bit of a victim because of the DPDR or the anxiety. But this always happens for a reason, right? And there's 99% of cases something you have to learn from why this happened to you. Maybe it's part of your lifestyle that wasn't going right. Maybe you had a trauma that you still had to work through. Maybe you had some control issues and really attaching your sense of safety to control, and life can't always give you that control. So maybe that's something you have to work on. And part of this journey is not just getting back to how things were, but growing past that, becoming even more at peace, even stronger, even more happy. So understanding what the lessons are that you needed to learn from this process helps you to not be so afraid of it coming back, because you don't see it as something happening to you. You, in a way, maybe even see it as something that happened for you to make you even more happy or more at peace than before. The last little tip is, part of your process needs to be overcoming the fear of it or the judgment towards it. So I was talking about this a little bit before. If you are still afraid of having a setback, it means you are still afraid of the DPDR. It means you're still judging it as something horrible, something bad, which is understandable because it's very uncomfortable and it's very scary to go through this, especially if you don't know what it is or what it is actually going on. If you want to have some more knowledge about that, I made a video, I think it was 2 videos ago. I'll put a link in the description so you can watch it, about what DPDR actually is and how we can understand it better so we don't have to judge it. But basically, part of your recovery is being detached from it and saying, look, this is a thing, this isn't good, this isn't bad, this is something my nervous system is doing to protect me. And if you are still afraid of it coming back, like to a really big extent, it means you're still judging it. And that non-judgment aspect is so important, not judging the DPDR as good or bad, seeing it for what it is, which is a protection mechanism as a result of anxiety or trauma or stress, and learning to cope with that anxiety, learning to feel safe again, learning to manage that stress. That's what it's really about. I never had a relapse in that sense of, I don't know if relapse is the right word, in the sense that I never got into DPDR majorly again, but I've had small moments of anxiety, or moments where I had another existential thought, or moments where I felt a little bit dissociated or derealized. And the reason why that passes now so quickly, and why I really, really feel I'm recovered, even if every few months maybe there's a little bit of anxiety, which is human, by the way. Recovery never is being free from anxiety, because as long as you're human, you will have moments of anxiety or dissociation sometimes, which is okay. But like I was saying, the reason why it doesn't last longer anymore is because I really am not afraid of it. I'm like, okay, this is just a feeling, this is just a part of life, this is just an emotion or a protection mechanism. I let it pass so quickly that it does not stay, it does not attach itself, and it just passes quickly. So this overcoming the fear of setbacks is also a really huge part in your recovery in and of itself. I hope this video brought you some value today. If you are in that part of your journey where you're starting to make a bit of progress, you're starting to feel a bit better, but you're not quite sure how much of that is actually coming from you and how much of that is actually coming from luck or coincidence, try to really work with some of the things that I gave you in this video today, and make sure that you feel like you are the one doing this work. You are the one that's recovering. It's coming from you. You are the one in charge. Yeah, so that you can feel more confident if you ever have, a little setback in the future or a little bit of anxiety. I wish you guys a beautiful day. I have a really beautiful, beautiful recovery recovery story coming up next week, Friday, which is when I'm interviewing one of my recovered clients that has an incredible story, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. So tune in next week. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.